It's time for the Douglas Coleman Show. Mr. Smooth and Savvy is joined by guests from all walks of life, from the entertainment industry to authors to political and social commentators, the famous and not so famous, the controversial and the light and fluffy. We have it all. Now, here's Douglas Coleman.
Okay, please welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show, Barak Zilberberg. Hello, Barak. How are you?
Hello, Douglas. How are you? Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh, my pleasure.
This is going to be a very interesting conversation, and I look forward.
Well, I look forward to it as well. I think you're the first presidential candidate I've had on the show. I've had a couple of people running for Congress. I think you are the first presidential candidate. Right off the bat, I've got to ask you, why do you want to run for president?
Well, basically, I'm very fortunate in this nation. I'm a very successful entrepreneur. I run many businesses, started many, and I'm still running the businesses and managing them. And I've helped so many people along the way achieve, success and wealth and what have you. And I believe now it's my turn to give back to the nation voluntarily with no interest. Just the love of this country. I'm a true patriot of the United States of America, and I'm very appreciative in being in this country. And I just like to serve, just as those who served in the forefronts of our Constitution, our freedom, our rights in this nation. I'm talking to you about militants in the forefronts, our first responders, frontliners out there. Now it's time for me to give back.
Did your parents immigrate to this country?
Yes, my parents immigrated from Israel. My mom was born in Israel. My dad was born in Poland, and he's the son of Polish immigrants. After World War II, they went through the Holocaust and immigrated into Israel. At age 3, his upbringing was in Israel, and then he served the army, the military. His dream was to come to the United States of America for the American dream. We had a family member here, which was an uncle of ours. And he signed off so that he has a permanent residency right when he walked on the plane and flew out to the United States. So I've seen, the struggles in many other countries as to where my origins are. And truly, we're in a blessed country, the land of opportunity. And it's very appreciative.
Do you think the American dream still exists as it did 50, 60 years ago?
No, I don't believe it exists. I believe we must bring it out to the light and have it exist. And the way is when I'm in presidency in office, I will conduct affordable housing for U.S. citizens so everybody has entry into homeownership. So we'll bring back the American dream, and then furthermore, we'll bring our industries, all our manufacturing, everything back to the United States, our blessed country, and we'll create a large labor force to produce goods for ourselves, and we have all the resources here. So we are going to definitely be reliant on ourselves rather than others throughout the world. So I look forward and 180 into where we're at today. There's a lot of improvement here in this nation. And I'm a blue-collar worker, start from nothing as a plumber and work my way up. So I know what hard work looks like, and I'm not afraid to roll up my sleeves and get my hands dirty or get my knuckles banged up, as they say.
Okay. So you were a gubernatorial candidate in Nevada. How did you fare? How did you do?
Well, I did great. I was traveling all along the great state of Nevada into places that are really unknown. I met a lot of beautiful people along the way. Thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people I've shook hands with. I've been engaged with all of the events, the Republican events, the Lincoln dinners, anything you can imagine. And I really enjoyed my journey as a candidate. I've learned a lot as to the politics and how everything works here in the great state of Nevada. It was a beautiful run. It simply was. And now I have a huge followership of people throughout Nevada, and not only Nevada, throughout various parts in the United States.
Okay.
So it's just great. I just love people. I love being in presence of people, and by listening and comprehending to the issues and the problems and everything that is needed within, to cater to the people. I've listened and comprehended it, and I'm just simply the voice of the people. They're telling me the information, I'm ascertaining it, I'm comprehending it, and I'm voicing it out to the public. That's basically, I'm just a middleman here.
Okay.
Public servant, as they say.
You're running as a Republican for president. It's kind of a crowded field.
Yeah, it was also crowded as when I ran as governor. We started off as 5 candidates, and then it spread to 18 or 17. And that's what's going to happen here as well. And it's great that everybody's entering, and the involvement of our country. It's very important. People they have to get involved with our country and the government and how it works, and presenting everything to the people. Very important. So we bring back the trust, and then we bring trust back to our candidates that are running. And again, very important to vote. Now, we need to legitimize our votes. We have to have legitimize for our voice to pick and to choose the candidate, the positions that are within our nation. And as president, that's what I'd like to corely do, is to fix the elections here in the nation. Okay.
What do you think of former President Trump?
Well, what has happened now is that I believe a person isn't, in other words, in our system, our judicial system, you are not, you are innocent until proven guilty. Is that correct or not?
Well, it is in court, yeah. Although I'm
sorry.
I said in court that is true. By law, that's true. In the court of public opinion and media, that could be a different argument.
Right. Well, I mean, we go by the judicial system, and that's what's incorporated in the judicial system as to, if there's proof and findings and what have you, and then there's fair trials. If he is acquitted of doing wrongdoings and what have you, nobody should be above the law. Everybody, no matter in what position you are, or whether in the private or the public sector, especially senators or congressmen or congresswomen or whomever the gender may be, that's in position in leadership, they're not above the law. Everybody is within the law and adheres to the law just as citizens, period. Now, that goes for... Now, I think what we should do is, if they want to go back on former President Trump, we should also go back on other candidates or other people that have been in positions as such, and go back and interrogate them as well, so that we have legitimacy on every sort of the platform there is. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or independent or libertarian, everybody must follow the rules. Yeah, we have to show a presence in this country. Yeah, we have to show that you can't, you have to abide by the law. You can't break rules, laws, and you can't use it also in towards your favor. It's wrong, and we all should, abide by our Constitution, our rights, and our laws as well. I'm not naming names, but there's also Democrats on the other side that have done wrongdoings. If they have been prosecuted, I don't know if they have. I don't think it's fair. I think it has to work in all ways so that, we have legitimacy and everything comes to place for transparency, honorability, integrity, trust in our country, back into our country. It's very important.
Let's talk a little bit about the issues. On your bio, it says that you support the LGBTQ community and you believe the country should be pro-choice. Now, pro-choice is not something that typically the Republican Party takes. Are there other Republicans who are running on a pro-choice platform?
I don't know who's running. I know I am running on that platform. I just want to please let me explain. I am pro-life. I have 4 children. Okay, and I impregnated my wives, my ex, and now my current wife, even before marriage. So I never encouraged abortion. I always said, let's get married and let's raise this child together. I am pro-life. However, who am I as a public servant, a president, a candidate, or just a U.S. citizen? Who am I to say to someone, oh, you can't have an abortion, or, you've been raped and we're in an incest situation, or, you're a child yourself and financially you can't even support the child. And there's a lot of instances out there, so let's not zero the instances that occur every day in our nation. Who am I to say to them, oh, you can't get an abortion? Government, less government, more power to the people. That is the key. And it goes for the stances of the LGBTQ communities. I support them as well. They're we're all children of God. Okay. We're all children of God, and God looks at us same way, and we're all people, and we have to bring in the equality into the equation into our nation. We are all equal, and we must all respect each other and adhere to our constitutional values. That is my position with the LGBTQ communities, and I will support, and I have supported, and I will always support them going on, moving on. You see, the difference between me and the other candidates is that I am a hairline over to the Republican Party. I've been a long life Republican throughout my whole life, but I believe we're behind in the issues that is needed in our nation, and let's say Mr. Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, it worked the positions and the values possibly, in the 2016 events that were taking place. But as of now, it works differently. We've changed, the country's changed, directions changed, people have changed. There's all sorts of dynamics here that you have to go along with the changes that is going within our country. So that's very important, to be inclined and to always be grounded and knowing what your surroundings are within your nation, and bringing it back to the people.
It also says on your bio that you would push to legalize cannabis federally.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, there's no reason. I mean, there's states that jurisdict cannabis stances as being legal in their states, and that's fine. Each state can jurisdict as to if they want it legalized within their state. That's the governor's job. It's not, the president's job. However, a president should allow it to be legal throughout the whole nation so that we have legality with cannabis. And then the states could choose as to if they want to interpret it in their states or not, But as far as I'm concerned, it's a plant, and it's a plant that is greatly used within the nation, and it helps people in creativity and thoughts. And a lot of children take it because of seizure conditions. They have seizures and twitches, which once they are prescribed the plant, which I call cannabis, then the twitches they diminish greatly. So it wells people. It does a lot of good. And I tell you, it's better than alcohol for a fact.
There's been far less people who have committed serious crimes while under the influence of marijuana than in alcohol. Alcohol tends to make people, or can make people, mean. And there's certainly been a lot of murders that have taken place while under the influence of alcohol. I don't know the statistics, but I would speculate that that is much of a lower number with related to cannabis. But there's one thing I want to move on. I want to move on to something that's not on your bio, that is an issue with the Republican Party specifically, and that's the Second Amendment. How do you feel about the Second Amendment?
Well, I feel about having all the amendments adhered to our country. And no amendment would be removed from our Constitution, and it goes for the Second Amendment as well. My position is very simple. Everybody has a right to defend themselves and bear arms, and that goes for also not only individuals but countries as well. Countries amongst the whole world should have the ability to protect themselves and bear arms. So I'm a wholehearted believer in the Second Amendment, our amendment. Now, if we need gun control in effect, so that we can satisfy the people in our nation as to what's going on in harm's way with our children and other type of interpretations, then that's a different story. We're going to handle and tackle that in a different way, in a sense where we work on the offense side, and more so of the defense side than offense side. So this way we diminish the offense side. We're more on the defense side.
Okay.
How is that done? Well, I have a lot of interpretations in regards to our children's classrooms and their campuses, where we have the ability to take down an active shooter if need be. Our teachers or faculty who are trained in gun training, maybe the NRA would step into the whole idea of arming our teachers and our faculty and training them for gun training and making sure that they're stable mentally to arm a weapon, have them in safes, and then hopefully, there won't be any more incidents, because if somebody wants to come in and cause harm, then they know that we're fully armed and we're equipped and we have gun training, so you won't really be successful in what you want to do on our campuses. There's many interpretations I have for gun control, but definitely the Second Amendment is our constitutional right.
Okay. The last topic I want to bring up, and then we got to kind of wind this down, is foreign policy. There's a lot going on in the world right now with the war in Ukraine entering in its second year, a very aggressive China in the Pacific area, Asia-Pacific area. People have been speculating that it's only a matter of time before they invade Taiwan. Do you have any qualifications on foreign policy?
I have colleagues and friends throughout the world, and I've been very, very inclined culturally with all types of diversities, religions, creeds, backgrounds, and what have you. I relate to everyone. So in regards to foreign affairs, you get me in a room with a leader or a person in position of their country, I guarantee you they'll come out with a smile when I'm done with them, because
Okay.
I'm telling you, I'm the best negotiator there is. First off, when I go in a room, I enlighten the room, and when I enlighten the room and I cordially introduce myself to everybody, and I have a connection, and I understand within, I would say, maybe 10 to 15 seconds as to who the individual is that I'm dealing with, just by a few words exchanged. And I soften up the situation, make everybody laugh. Laughter is medicine, let me tell you. And you start off on those notes and those positions, and then you get down to the nuts and bolts of the issues. And you have to find a medium position where everybody's happy. Hey, you're not happy, but let's find a way where both of you can be happy, or many of you can be happy in these positions. Let's resolve it and let's move on. And I'd like to create peace treaties amongst the countries of the world and our nation. And I'd like to also invite more countries into our NATO alliances. And I like to be in good relations with every country in the world.